everybody. Welcome to the network's weekly podcast. We are your hosts, Rebecca Lopez.
And I'm Elizabeth Langley. With us today, we have Jake Peavy. He's one of our arts and entertainment writers. How are you, Jake?
I'm doing well, thank you.
And today we are going to talk about several interesting topics from top 100 radio stations to seating charts in college, whether or not we should continue with that. So let's start with the top 100 radio stations.
Okay, talking about the top 100 stations. So I was in the car today heading to school. I put on Star 94, Q100, Power 961, and Athens, like Power Athens, the 101.1 something. Yeah. Okay, first off, I think it's ridiculous that we have all these top 100 stations. But the thing is, they were all playing the same song at one time. So what am I supposed to listen to? Like, Power Athens, that's a pretty cool station. Like, it's new to me. I'm not from Athens. So I was like, yeah, this is pretty awesome. But 961 used to be like alternative rock, and it's been that since the 80s. I used to love that station. And you know, if you're going to make that into another top 100, at least play something interesting. They call it top 100 for a reason. You have like the top 100 songs, so don't all four stations play one song.
I agree. A lot of the times, and I've been seeing this with a lot of my friends, they don't listen to the radio anymore.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times they're playing the exact same four songs over and over again.
Yeah.
An hour
Yeah.
goes by and they played one that they played like 3 hours
And it's
ago.
any town you go to, really. Like, you can go to Atlanta, Austin, Texas. Like, any town, they're going to be playing the same music.
Over and over.
And they may have four stations to do that for the same songs.
Right, and I mean, this is causing, I think, for more people to start avoiding the radio stations.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know I
going-
have, personally, myself.
And going towards Pandora, for
Pandora.
example.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's how I was, like, my auxiliary cord broke, because I normally listen to my iPod, so I was like, yeah, I'm going to listen to the radio, and I mean, I pretty much listen to everything, but, like, the Bull and Kicks were both on commercial, which is also another issue. If you know you have a competing, you know, if you've got two country stations, and you know you're competing, don't both go on commercial at one time, because when, like, let's say the Bull's on commercial, Kicks could be playing, like, you know, music, so if they're both on commercial, it takes you to the, you know, the top 100 stations. Well, if you're like, let's say I don't like the song like I didn't this morning, so I changed the station and it's on that, you know, like,
Yeah.
it's to
And
the point, it's
Not-
ridiculous.
Not just that, it's also creating issues where people start hating songs.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
for example, the Rihanna song.
Yeah.
The Diamonds. I think
Yeah.
that's what it's
Shine
called.
bright like a
Diamond.
Shine Bright.
diamond.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
it's
Every
stuck in my
time
head some days. I
that
don't even
song
like
comes
the song.
on, I'm just like, okay, I'm changing the radio station, and I don't listen to it. I don't go back
Yeah.
because I don't want to hear that song anymore.
Well, like, that's like that Taylor Swift song, like, I Knew You Were Trouble When You Walked In. Like, I really liked that song. I was like, yeah, I can relate to this. This is awesome. Well, then I started hearing it on every single station, like, 4 times an hour, and I'm like, oh my God, well, this is like,
Yeah,
now this is
now you
annoying.
hate
it,
Like, I don't relate to this anymore. Like, I just want to change the station. Like, I'm going to listen to country.
I think we need some more independent radio stations.
We do, like, I was talking
Um,
about, like, alternative, like, the
yeah.
rock. Like, what is wrong with having an alternative station?
I love UGA's 90.5 station,
Yeah.
where they have DJs on that are students, and they're allowed to play anything they want to.
Right.
And
Yeah.
You're not going to hear stuff that you normally hear on the radio.
Yeah.
It turns you on to new music.
Yeah.
It's just all around a better
For
experience.
example, 95.5 The Beat.
Oh, my
for
gosh. I know.
Yeah, it turned
I
into
miss
the
that.
worst.
95.5.
Oh
What
my gosh.
happened to 95.5?
That was probably the most listened to, especially for college students.
Yeah.
I know, because I would listen. That's the only one I would listen to until they cut it off. I had to find another radio station, and 100.1, which is the new one that everyone's been listening to, doesn't compare because they listen to the same songs over and over.
And don't worry, if you like, you know, if you want to hear the same thing on that, just go to Star 94 or
Yeah.
Q100 or now the new
Yeah.
Power 961.
Yeah.
Like, I think we need to have a station, like I was saying earlier to them, like I listen to music like Sleeping with Sirens, Mayday Parade, like all these not really popular bands. But I mean, a lot of people listen to stuff like that. So why do we
Yeah.
have all this Taylor Swift, Rihanna, One Direction stuff? Like, it gets annoying. It really does.
So, are we good
I mean,
with that?
that's about it. Like, we need more
Yeah.
music.
we need more diversity.
We have
Exactly.
music. We
In our
just need better
choices.
radio
Stations
stations
to
that will
play 'em
play
all.
everything right.
Exactly.
Or maybe we just need to do away with radio stations and support Pandora.
There we go.
Yeah, Pandora.
Go Pandora. All right, so let's move on and talk about seating charts in college. So there have always been controversial issues between teachers and students on whether or not there should be seating charts in the classrooms.
Yeah.
Whether or not it's still high schoolish, or should they
Definitely.
be treating us like what they're preaching to us as
Independent,
adults? Right.
yeah.
Right. So I just want to know what you guys think about that.
I good.
So I mean, I'm just saying, to be like an independent person, like I think I should be able to sit where I want. Like
Yeah.
I'm paying for it. Like let me sit. Like if I want to sit in the back of the classroom, don't make me sit in the front. Like there's a reason I didn't pick the front.
Sure, and I've never experienced it, but I do disagree with that for sure.
I mean, just imagine. For example, I was in a situation where in one of my classes, I sat down and it was not my assigned seat, but I had the issue because I could not see. I did not bring my glasses at the time, and I wanted to sit closer to the board.
Yeah.
I saw the opportunity available so I can take notes and do what I'm supposed to do in classes. And my professor got mad at me and made me move back to my assigned seat. Now, I understand somebody who is trying to learn students' names at the beginning of the semester, but when it comes to the point when it's the entire semester and they still don't know your names, that's kind of questionable to their mental state, I
Yeah,
think,
definitely.
honestly.
Well, that's like I was saying, like I have an issue with that. Like we go to a small school for a reason. Like you know, at UGA, like it's understandable. You have like over 100 students and like one lecture, like you're known by a number. Like you expect that going to a large university, but like Oconee campus, like Gainesville, University of North Georgia. Like I came to this school because I want one-on-one teaching, you know, a small classroom environment. So I mean, I would expect my teachers to know my names. If you've only got 20 students, like I understand at the beginning not knowing, but you know,
By the end
this
of the
point,
semester,
you should know
it's
people's
just,
names.
It's elementary, too.
It
It's
definitely
just-
is.
I mean, we should not have to put up with that in college.
It's high school. It's depriving us of exactly what they want us to be, adults. Like, I think we should be responsible enough to sit anywhere we want. I mean, it doesn't matter. We don't have to explain ourselves why. I did not have to tell my professor I needed to sit there because I couldn't see if I wanted to sit there.
You could
It was
decide.
my
Yeah.
choice.
And like that's also like,
Freedom.
how do you feel about like cell phones in class? You know?
I don't know. There's a point where I think it involves.
You have to draw the line somewhere.
Yeah.
Like the respect.
Yeah, I know a lot of students take their cell phones out during classrooms or during class time, and I mean, if it's an emergency, I'd be understanding about it, but I can see why
Yeah.
professors don't like it because it is rude.
And it's like distracting. Kind
Right.
Well, my thing is, I'll see people like searching Facebook,
of. Yeah.
and that's just like you can do that
Like,
any
you're in
other
cla-
time
any other
during
time.
the
Like
day.
you're in a
and
class for an
teacher-
hour. Like
Yes.
I mean, it's whether it's the importance of the message that you're looking through your phone. Because if my mother's texting me, hey, I need you to come pick up my sister
Yeah,
or something,
sure, that's
I'm
understandable.
going to go through it. Like if she's telling me ahead of time, by the way, I'm texting you. I'm going to text you in class.
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, I'm expecting an important text
Or
from my
even
mother.
if you get a
Yeah.
text and you look and see who it is, if it's a family member, you should read it. 'cause
Right.
Yeah,
it
there's
could
like
be
a-
an emergency.
yeah, there's a
Right.
difference in like, oh well, my phone just vibrated. Well, let me like check it. Like that's
Right.
one of those things of like I'm an adult. Like you know, I should be able to like pull my phone out and see like if something important's happening. And if it's not, I also need to have the maturity to be like, well, you know, this teacher's up here, like you know, spending his time, her time. Like I paid for this. Like I need
Yeah.
to, and like the people beside me paid for it. So I don't.
And
even,
that's what I was thinking too. Yes, it there's a line that has to be drawn at one point.
Mhm.
But at the same time, some students will argue, well, it's my money, I paid for the class, I can do whatever I want in the class.
well, so do
Another
the people
thing-
beside you.
Another
Yeah.
thing about that is if you do have to get on your phone, you can walk out of the classroom.
Yeah, like
They're
they
not
don't.
going to stop you from walking out of the classroom.
Right. Okay, well, thank you again, Jake, for joining us today. It was great having you.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
For our next segment, we have the president of the film club, Arthur McKay, joining us. How are you, Arthur?
I'm doing all right. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us.
So Arthur, tell us about the film club.
Well, what we do, we are Fridays at noon. We show movies in room 560. It's the really nice room with all the audiovisual equipment. What else like we say, we just watch movies, and we try to watch good movies. We try to watch recent movies. We just watched Argo. We just finished up watching Argo.
Okay.
Awesome. Like, who decides on like what movies you watch, or like after you guys watch the movies, do you discuss it? Do you guys ever go out together?
Well, this semester it's mostly like I kind of chose the schedule, but I had input from some of our members. But I chose the schedule beforehand. We sometimes go out to movies. We haven't done that recently just because of scheduling conflicts. We go out to theaters and see them while they're in the big screen. But we don't usually have discussions. Like if people want to stick around afterhand and discuss the movies, then that's fine. But we recognize that people may not want to discuss when they're getting that from their film classes.
Mhm.
So we just kind of let people watch the movies and go in peace if they want to.
So where do you have your film club for anybody who wants to join?
Yes, it is over in 560, which in the Student Resource Center.
Okay.
It's like when you're coming in the atrium, coming like into the hallway of classes. That's like the first door on the right.
So say you encounter a student who has never heard of your film club before.
Mhm.
How would you convince them to take your
Club.
club?
How do you get them involved? Like,
Well, when we say first off, I mean we always have ads like of our posters. I was saying it's pretty simple. It's like, do you want to watch a good movie? It's like we're showing, blah 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 blah. We showed Skyfall a couple of weeks ago.
Mhm.
Right.
So I mean, we're not just showing artsy movies. We're showing
Like-
good action movies as well.
that have like
Yeah.
come out
Yeah.
or
That's
recent.
Yeah.
really cool
Yes.
because I've never seen Argo.
Yeah.
And if I would have known ahead of time, I would have totally gone and seen it just to get an idea about it. Because I'm
Yeah.
not, the only reason why I haven't is because I'm not a Ben Affleck fan.
Mhm.
But I would have been interested in joining
Same.
that, and I might have continued on. But
Yeah.
that's really interesting.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, next week we're showing The Master. At the same time, noon. We always show at noon. And that's
560, right?
560. That's
Okay.
correct.
Yeah, and like I also think like us being a commuter school, like getting involved in extracurricular activities and like getting involved in these clubs are a really good way to like make friends. Like I've met Becky, I've met Arthur,
Yeah.
I've met Josh. Like it's really good to like, not just go to class, sit there, leave. It's good to like get involved and like do things like go to room 560 at 12 o'clock on Fridays and watch movies.
Yeah, it's definitely it's always awesome to just have people come there and be excited for the movies. It's like the best part of it. I mean, not only watching the movies, but just standing around while we're cleaning up and just have people talking about, oh, I love this part of the movie. It's the best part of the club.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Arthur, for telling us about Film Club.
Oh, you're very welcome.
very interesting.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
no problem.
and thank you everyone who's been tuning into our weekly podcast at the ungnetwork.com.
And we are your hosts, Rebecca Lopez.
And Elizabeth Langley, and
And we
we
will
will
see
see
you
you
again
again
next
next
week.
week.